on both of these teams' chart for the past few months and even before the year.
Yeah.
But obviously have been scrimming it. Let's see what we got as we hop into game now. Got that Viper wall up towards A as expected. They can continuously play pressure off that, but let's see how G2 is going to receive this. 4 leaning towards that A side, ready for baby door explosion if they get knowledge of rubble, but it's going to be a quick B entry. Not too easily done though.
A quick stop indeed. So now this pressures EG to work towards this A side. Door is going to get open to revolving on the A side. Big paranoia out on the defense. And really G2 is currently shutting down any push coming out from the Evil Geniuses, leaving out Superman alone. But he's not going to be able to go in the clutch against 4 players alive of G2 after winning their pistol.
It looked like all the focus was going to be ready for A, but still having 2 towards that breakable door. They turn around, they absolutely decimate who's trying to come into B once that wall goes up from the defensive side. See that getting placed again, and there's the wall. They actually didn't get tagged by it too much, just APOT there. But that timing, the timing is what it was all about for G2 to be able to collapse on what EG wanted to do. So EG looked to kind of spread the map a bit. Distraction at B with a slight lurk that would have been towards A on that round. Completely snuffed out by G2.
A great start too though. First pressure that Icy gets, already gets a kill and an assist on that, shutting down the B side attempt from EG. Forcing them now on a full eco. 2 shares to work with and controlling orbs at least on one end. There's a deep alarm bot out for Mound here.
Been seeing it a little bit more.
React to it. Yeah, they just listen to the noise and trying to figure out if EG is going to try to pivot somewhere else.
Letting him walk into the util. No Omen smoke here to stop them for now. They got the Viper orb. Easy control there. Then the Omen smoke will follow, just to delay a little bit more on that timing as the smoke will go down. So G2's playing this one patiently. They already have a good push onto Rubble and Icy. 2 big frags to start off this one.
Yeah, interesting enough how that was being played here for EG. They were watching their backs, afraid of some sort of push in front of B. So once again, very similar storyline to the pistol. Losing the players on the initial push, they're forced to work in the opposite direction where the numbers are left. And already damaged inside the site. At least a plant will be nice
30 seconds
in the checkbox for EG in this eco.
Gotta be deep. They're looking to hide in this one. Trent starts it off.
Yeah, too much util right now for EG to really get set up in a post plan and get anything done. At least they have a Bulldog, an upgrade for Superman. He's currently playing towards the water, so first contact will be Derek. Both of them once again working together in the clutch and instantly denied by G2. A great start. A strong on a pistol, a great conversion on the second one for G2. And it looks like a pretty strong bonus round going into the third.
And Icy's ready to get going. It's just a Sheriff on the first round for Icy with the nade, the signature for a raise. Second round, buys up on the Bulldog, gets a few frags at Rubble, charging up the Showstopper already. And G2 played this one calm. A good plant, however, by the side of EG. They're going to be able to use a bit of that money coming in next round to make sure everything is ready to go to see if they can pull back on the bonus. Get a quick tech pause as we... Yeah, Lotus will be a nice boon for G2 to be able to put under their belt and start this series off. Starting off, good frags, like I said, for Icy Valen. 3 away from the Showstopper there. There's a focus towards C, but more of a default across the map, as this A push is constant orb farming just for Icy to get him online.
Exactly. Farmed a lot of kills in the first 2 rounds, getting really close to the Showstopper. You saw at the beginning of the round 2, APOT was looking for a lineup to at least place a cage or a camera, get a little bit of pressure towards the B sign. So EG once again trying to hold a default, working different extremities around the map, breaking utility on the C side first, turret down. And it really doesn't force G2 to swing out yet. They maybe want to use the alarm bot as their first wave to use util. But it's EG that puts the first step.
Yeah. Not in a position to commit just yet. EG trying to source out some utility, find what else they can take. They actually have not heard the alarm bot or the mollies, which is now cooking Jogamo.
And that allows Leaf to swing out right there as he was trying to escape. Leaf was able to line up 2 quite quickly with util on top of that. And once again, EG had to backpedal into the opposite direction. At least for now, though, there's only Valen that's playing it very passively to get information first so that G2 could play the numbers on a retake. Nature unfortunately down to 12 HP as he was trying to scale up here towards this A side. EG, the plan continues to try to finish towards the B site with 10 seconds left on the clock. Prowler to scale out, spotting nobody in the site, and G2 is okay of giving this up.
Spike planted. Where are you?
So there will be noise and pressure here as the revolving door gets hit on this C site.
And again,
Trying to keep them back at bay, so it'll give a chance for the defenders to swarm back up here, come out from the B heaven side. There's that paranoia initiated. It's going to hit one, but Nature is playing the off angle. Almost got that one into Jonah B, but the trades are great for G2 once again. They convert the bonus round to get 3 on Lotus.
really, really neat. Look at the pings on the minimap right now. I was just going to talk about this.
The
Really neat positioning. Remember, just in the first few rounds, the alarm bot was far outside C, where they could attack it, then know they took alarm bot down, play with a little bit more space. Pushing in that time, they found turret, but not alarm bot, not the mollies. It eventually became their demise once they found out those mollies were ready to cook a little deeper in sight. And they have to either blast up towards Waterfall or go all the way around Bend to make that work if this is going to keep changing on that C side. We'll see how they actually position the alarm bot this time. It does look like they are again maybe going to put it outside. Hasn't even set it down yet. It's actually over towards B. So another change up of where that alarm bot's going to be. They've put it right here at that B side now. And it's going to be another look towards C here for Evil Geniuses with a little less map control. And this A info is giving G2 so much to start with every time.
Well, EG's already lost Superman towards the C side too. So as Leaf was jiggling for information towards the mound, I'm sure he instantly popped one. And yeah, these nanoswarms, it's really just to not allow EG to get across here towards water or get heavily damaged until they get to the wooden ramp. Yet Nature still gets the opener.
Good push.
Jonah P answers right back. 3 players spamming through the wall from Waterfall just to try to damage, prevent the spike from getting planted, but it will go down. With the last 2 pushed up towards the spawn is Apoth, denied here by Trent. And now you're alone, not gonna work out with the Sheriff. G2 are not really giving EG any chances to not only get into sight or set up or even move in as a whole team in there because they're losing a lot of players in the beginning of these rounds for EG side.
Yeah, incredible teamwork right now for G2. They got flooded in sight, backed up to play more of a retake after they lose Leaf, excuse me, and just continue to take the site back together. EG trying to push forward in, maybe grab a gun, but it was a flood on that defensive spawn side for G2, which did not allow EG's encroachment into that area to work. All right, guns across the board again, 4 in a row. G2's post plants so good right now on all these diffuses.
Yeah.
It's going to be that showstopper up for Icy, and now they're going to attack C this time. It's been quiet from G2's defensive side on this area until now.
It's a nice call, though, because we're so close to the ultimates. Opportunities for EG to swing things in their side by leveraging ultimates on the side of Jogimo, and they want to contest it. A as they push it up towards the rubble. Nature gets popped. And once again, you lose that control on one extremity, you have no choice. You have to try to make a move now on the other end. And they know they've been pressured a lot for EG towards Mount at the beginning.
And they're ready for B. They have eyes everywhere on the map right now. G2 is so ready.
But Jogimo picked up the orb on the C site. So definitely, especially that. Nanoswarms came out preemptively. Might give a chance here for Jaw to satchel in. But they've lost Apoth on the lurk. There you go towards the sky. Lands it onto Leaf. Down to 20 HP. Jonah B lines up the 2. Entering quite easily. And there's a showstopper in retaliation from Icy. And G2 now have 5 in a row on their map pick.
And they're keeping 3 alive. They're keeping quite a few alive on these rounds, so the bank is good. That means they can take the chances. They can go to farm these orbs. They can keep pushing extremities with the C play they have, where Icy was one of the big factors. They've been able to push A and use that grenade, or use the Raise Nade to get positioning on Rubble. They're still able to do it with just Trent, just Valen.
Boys, let's go, boys. Big ult now.
They're just vibing right now.
EG
Just saw that again being Trent and Valen as Icy went C. But it seems like they're just using that buddy system so well. And if Leaf can't control, they back up and make sure everyone's together. See if EG can break that defense. Quick haunt over out of B. They're able to destroy it. And they have to be very wary about this control. They've seen G2 here every single time, and this low buy means they're going to creep up even slower.
Uh-oh. So much utility being thrown here towards the A side. It's countered back by a Nightfall that gets information on 3. So that's the call for EG to move inside B for a plant. And you know, off these timeouts, EG is not afraid of using these ultimates when they have a lower buy. Look at the forward pushes towards the spawn because of that information. We're moving behind enemy lines here for EG, but a rotate comes back from G2 out at the Hobbit door. 4 players streamlining in, traded out to start things off, but EG takes the lead, at least in a situation. Head to head, out towards the heavens. Derek then answers back onto Valen. It's doable now for Jogamo and Derek of EG against Trent and Jonah P, who does have the pit. Forced to fight out against Jogamo, back towards the waterfall. The tap on the spike, the wall comes up, isolating one of the 2 players remaining of EG. Hot now being thrown out. Derek marks them both. Oli has his sheriff, lands the first shot, and now it's ticking down on that spike. Derek hears the tap, swings out, and gets it! The clutch master is once again back here for Evil Geniuses!
Derek with an amazing weight. The patience there. Playing all the mind games necessary to pull the round into EG's favor. It took everything. And it has just about each one of these rounds to put down G2 just this one so far. 5-1 after that shot. And we start round 7. Operator in the hands of Jogamo. The timeout for EG paying off big here. Can they get the momentum? Oh, icy, cold, shuts it down.
A big start, it's quick on that A site. Even once again, Lurk denied on B. And as that momentum you thought was gonna come back from EG from that Thrifty, gets instantly stopped by G2's, again, forward position on the A side rubble.
And now with no map control, losing A path towards mid as well, they have to regain a little bit of an idea of where EG could be pushed up.
You have a great idea. I mean, that
G2
smoke
rather.
was thrown towards the C side.
Yeah.
And then you have an alarm bot. You'll know for sure if somebody's moving in from Mound. Then the Prowler came out towards front B. So nobody is moving from EG, even continuing their focus of 3 players playing semi-passively towards the A site to try to deny EG moving up here towards A.
And the G2's aggression has been constant, right? Even for the save round there, the pressure they got on Rubble, Derek Nightfalls to return the favor and try to get back. I'm sure they'd love to have Nightfall here on this buy round. To be met with Trents, Jonah P's already ulted C. G2 are not holding back, and this tree hit's gonna have to work for EG.
At least there is a snakebite being dropped here at the drop area. The pressure coming in, Icy gets flooded from the left side by Nature. Here comes the attempt of a plant. You heard Valen coming out for the TP from the shadows to support quickly for G2. Coming out towards the drop. Spraying with the Odin. Superman falls, and once again, EG will have to try to go for a clutch. A 2 versus 4. Snakebite on that spike, denying the first point. Leaf not opting to use his lockdown yet. Everybody's just spraying across. Still being quite annoying with these doors. Nature finally gets the pick. A second one there to Jonah P. A third! And he gets the ace! What a clutch coming out for Nature! That's 2 clutches in a row! Tying in with an I-by power race!
You can't ask for any more from these players. That is going to snuff the momentum of G2 completely. Sure, they have money to buy here. They're going to be calling a timeout, but the mentality that G2's had over these first few rounds to lose to clutches like that, the ace on this one as well. Nature opened up the site with the first kill, so already a pivotal frag in the round to make sure that A was something that they could work with, but then to ace the round?
Like this.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
And now we have a timeout being called by G2. So with this timeout, it gives us a chance to talk about I-by power. I mean, with that ace, you just could follow their social.
From Icy, they were already getting frags. C was on lockdown. Nobody would even get towards B. Apoth was blocked by the wall. But things have changed after that timeout Potter called. And now we're into round 8. Not as much push pressure on the extremities here from G2, and that will give EG the room they're looking for. Fast play, little spray, and Jogmo's in.
At least there's no alarm bot this time around to do the double damage on these nanostorms, so we get through it quite easily, but instantly Leaf pops down the lockdown, pushing them back. Jogmo gets detained, but he's going to be safe for now.
Yeah.
gives a chance now for EG to re-hit if they want to. So the paranoia will slowly set in for G2.
Yeah.
They'll make the first noise for EG, though, by grabbing this orb on the C site.
This wall we have every time coming in. You see on the backside, Icy's trying to play that. The wall's been used a few times by nature off the play, so you have to wonder, is somebody pushed up? Are they going to be around a corner? And that's just the kind of added pressure you can get with this Viper wall all the time. Goes up, and they'll have pretty clear movement on Rubble here.
Especially then when that initial pressure came out from EG on the C site, they can't really get that A site control that they've been doing so well here for G2. So all 5 players of EG grouped up.
30 seconds left.
Using a smoke towards the staircase, now making themselves heard. Opening the revolving door and executing towards the A site. It's going to be open for a plant. Although, there's Util coming in. The satchel's out from Icy. Clears out, at least a pop, but gets instantly traded out by nature. Then the frags are coming in favor of EG. Plant now in, out for the tree side. 2 players left alive for G2. And that's Leaf and Jonah P with barely any utility left. The only thing Leaf has here is Timmy the Turret. He wants to use it with the door. Making sure, though, that he clears out the backup rubble. Let's see if this roll suits him.
Too many.
Too many on both sides.
Just too many.
Surprise on every single door. Jonah is now alone. And with the money that you see in the bank currently for the rest of G2, he's definitely going to try to save the weapon. So far being hunted down by nature.
Yeah.
But no matter what, the round will go to EG.
Big smoke up top from Superman, kind of forcing EG to fly into the site. 2 going drop, too. You would think maybe a few more dropping with Icy there, if he's going to go close and just look for a kill right there on the backside of site. But yeah, I also think that G2 didn't expect EG to have that many in sight. They were all looking towards drop spot, ready to defend as G2 did a flood retake, and it just did not count. So EG 3 in a row now, and it will finally be able to get a little bit under the skin of G2. We see the low armor coming in here. You might be buying for rounds to come, too. Yeah, okay, Bucky.
Yeah, half my
Stinger, so they're going to look to have a little bit more in the future.
There.
Because they're going to try to really get the focus of this orb now for Icy. Being damaged down to a little bit of a snake bite, down to 24 with a spray too. And the other players pushing forward. Yes, they'll have a showstopper now, but with low HP, this is still a tough condition for G2. Buying around that rifle that was saved by Jonah P to try to win the round. The wall bangs are coming across. There's that paranoia. Nature and Superman working in tandem, dropping 2 players of G2 and forcing those players back.
Good control. This is one of the rounds EG finally gets to kind of absorb this G2 aggression. They've actually been losing quite a few members at that first Rubble fight. And they go back to C. This has been the entry. Jogamo's just feeling comfortable on this hit.
I didn't know that Leaf is there with the Bucky. Forced to play a different angle by the waterfall, and EG understands that, so they're going all the way around towards ramp. We'll take the free site, the free plant. And the biggest damage they could do here is at least Icy with his Vandal. Sees Nate combo, but the Seas misses. So will not do any damage here to EG on the pulse plant. Here comes a swing finally. They do get the contact onto Derek. A chance now, potentially, if they're able to drop one more and utilize this showstopper. But Leaf just fell. Icy and Trent now, high and low on the right side of the C site. And it's not looking good at all here. EG able to score now 4 rounds in a row in their favor. And we're finally starting to see a game quite early in this first half of Lotus.
Incredible that they're instantly able to pull around 4 in a row, because it wasn't coming from a lot of the frags in the round. It was the post plants, right? This EG wasn't able to get into those first few fights. The first blood goes towards G2, and then it seems like the round fell apart too much. EG's doing a really nice job of playing a bit more of the map before they start to play the site. And that's one heck of a call to be making, especially when you're just 5-0. Figure out what the right one would be to grab 4 back in a row. Icy still with that showstopper now, a lot healthier to start this round off, but he's going to meet Jogamos as well. And there could be face-to-face right here.
Showstopper out, counter showstopper on both ends. Who hits who?
Wait!
At least it's guns instead. Instant trades on both sides. Hat coming out to get information, and now it's thrown here by Apoth. Knowing now that the A side is open, but Superman's trailing far behind still. Door closes, time wasted. Valen in the drop spot. Just around the corner is Nature. There's a first spray, now hit by the snake bite. He's manages to find a spot where he's okay. Superman finally trying to go for a plant, but taps first. Trying to see if G2 is going to swing out, and they do. Managed to get a snake bite kill onto Derek. 45 seconds left. Door reopened now by Superman. 8 HP left.
Dang.
As they're going to try to pivot towards the B side. TP across, and now Nature cuts the rotation. There's that first and second, but instantly Trent trades it out.
30 seconds left.
The attempts now towards the B site, now down. Throws out a smoke as Superman, now plays inside of it and around. First contact will be Trent, there's that first, and instantly there. Valen sprays through the smoke to trade it right back.
Quick flick there to end it, but yeah, EG again on the verge of taking another one, and that call to switch it up, but have the clothesline, the cutoff there coming in really big, almost able to capitalize. The ults are starting off, not coming up with too much, but gave him the space to want to be able to get into the site, play over towards A to start things off. And these A fights have just been wildly chaotic too. Everybody's dropping into site right away for G2. I don't know if EG can use that to their advantage, but it seems with that and the util they were able to get out that time from G2. This makes it seem very tough, and they get that post plant back in order. C push and A push again, it seems. No, just the deep alarm bot going out again over towards that C side.
What will that do right now as it's being posted up? Giving a chance now for EG just to once again farm a free orb, and that's going to be in the hands of Jogimo. Nightfall available and ready if EG wants to use it. Apoth once again trying to find late information. Cage to come up. Here's a shot coming out from front B. It's a bait shot from Trent here, so now Icy could battle it down head to head. But Apoth knows better than to peek. EG still trying to break some util towards the C site.
They're trying to work off a few of the precedents they've seen G2 make. You know, somebody pushed A a few rounds ago. Mid had a little bit of pressure that Apoth just kind of saw. But G2 is playing pretty safe right now, all things considered, with the way they've shown the past few rounds. EG is going to get that time down to about 30 seconds. Looks like we're going to get a crash onto A. Slow movement in towards Rubble. Jog's pretty far away, so the team's going to have to do this on their own. It didn't stop Nature before.
Now a couple of them are going to get hit here by the Nightfall. Paranoid also comes out here to counter out and hold the push. 20 seconds left on the clock. EG has to now move inside the side. Counter Nightfall out on the defensive side. Numbers are down even. Make that an advantage for EG.
10 seconds
Plat now successful. You mentioned Joe P being too far. And now he's going to have to try to retake it inside an attacking Viper's Pit. So now he has to think on his toes. No util to work with, and he just made some noise. So they know that he dropped down towards the rope. As he walks in, gun first, Nature fires first, and EG win the round.
Last round
just
in the
sourcing the map for information and playing off it. Really nicely done. They've had a few rounds EG has starting at C, getting themselves back in, and these fights over at A just have been their bread and butter to end some of these rounds. Real happy with the way the rest of this one's been going, especially to stave off G2 after they quickly pull back around. That's gonna do a little ditty on G2's money for this one, and they're on a low buy for the last round of the first half. 4 on C. Let's see if they play the fake. Do they let somebody go out, play a little aggressive, and then trap EG with the rest of G2's members in the site? Oh no, they're just waiting family photo style. High-low here.
Quite crazy about Superman's the one running up to tap on the orb, seeing there a trap play coming out from G2, but he's doing that with the spike on his back. Finally, leaves it behind for Derek. Goes for a second attempt. G2 staying patient. And Jogimo now at the point. Paranoia behind to support.
Yeah.
Prowler 2 towards the front.
Repeat of last round. A little bit less aggression on what the utility of Z offered, but that's good enough.
And the Haunt as well, getting so much information. Now Valorant alone has a vandal at least. Spraying back into smoke are both teams. It looks like EG decides to pull back. Towards the C side of 1v1. Nice little snake bite. Flushing out Leaf. So unfortunately he falls. And he gives the whole site open now for EG. A TP out from Valorant, but it's a 1 versus 4. Stopped right away, no plant needed as we tie up the game 6-6 on a half.
In that last round, you see Nature just mollying out one player, right? Finding out where they could kill Leaf. Other kills on the other side. Just dissecting where G2 is hiding. That's what EG was doing that map to bring back 6. Absolutely figuring out how G2 was defending. And we got a game on our hands now.
Oh yeah. And definitely we're seeing EG playing a lot more slowly. Just want to make sure the aggression's not there, but at least they get it. But before we do,
start everything off after the timeout, so
for sure.
It definitely took a bit, but EG found that power. And now we got the even game. I was wondering if the wall dropped for a second. Nobody even moved. They're just looking for the Haunt to come over before they move out here.
Even jump spotting was Trent to see if EG is going to play the wall contact on their end. And an early defender wall comes up, and that's going to keep G2 behind theirs. As Trent pulls his up too. Haunt to try to get info, he gets shot right away, but for EG, it's potentially, okay, maybe still just a lurker. They don't have too much going on the C side, yet EG still wants to gamble. The instant rotate out from the C side. Jogimo looking to move in here with the rest of the players towards A.
And Apoth could not have his utility stretched out further on this one, trying to cover just about every site with a little bit. Is it going to be enough?
Scoring first is Apoth though. EG in the lead in the situation, close to the traps. Also a little high to go against the Satchels, but the Satchels will be denied by Apoth once again with the classic. G2 finally able to come back for trades. And also taking lead in this situations. Jogno wrapping around. As the Haunt misses him, he has a timing across. Leaf is 1 HP, so is Trent. Now the jump spot. Do we see him here? Here's the reload! And it's enough here to bait Jogimo out and Trent to get the kill. And G2 win another pistol.
It took a bit. They got close to that wire, and I think instantly, collectively said everybody left side A. Because that was a very fast switch from G2 to only hit rope side. You saw a few people go, and then they all said, nope, we're crashing. Yeah, coming out of stairs too was a big reason they wanted that left side. Nicely done. Bulldogs out here for G2, making sure they can put down EG no matter what the buy could be.
Yeah. Similar to that second round, Baby Door also broken instantly for Jogimo. So we're looking for fast rotates on their side, and quite interestingly enough, a lot of util being thrown from EG side. I like that. Sacrifice your life, deny the orb. And also making sure that it's not going to be potentially like Icy trying to pick it up.
Did he get it? 2 for Nature?
Yeah, at least that helps him on his side too for Viper to get 2 orbs right away for an early pit.
A little rubble control here for EG, and G2 should be able to suss this out pretty easily. Superman, I think, heard a quick footstep there. He starts to back up and get into position near door. So re-clear here on A. G2 is just trying to not make any mistakes, keep every weapon in, get all the ult orbs on their side if they can. It looks like it's going to end up being an A hit here if they don't actually decide to get this Baby Door double kill.
When you look here towards the A side, the orb was also denied of that end here by Superman. And there's Icy looking to farm a bit, but gets denied. But once again, both Superman and Derek working in together from Baby Door to get the kill with the classic. Pain Shell doesn't do too much damage, and we have a safe plant for G2 and even safer positioning on the pulse plant until this lurk from Leaf also gets stopped by Epoth, who gets a Stinger upgrade.
2 of them now. This could be problems if they get those Stingers together.
And they're all around this A site. Yes, Jogimo is there alone on the top of heaven, but he's only got a classic, so he gives a chance now to create the space for these 2 to come back towards tree. Nice ADSing by Valorant to get those picks, even a 3rd in the round. And Trent will finalize the last one. Another pistol round converted into a dub for G2, but all armor damage, 3 players lost in the process, and against a full classic that EG had.
If you think of the way that G2 started to have 5 alive, they were moving slow, trying to protect each other, and yeah, it got scrappy at the end there. They would have loved to avoid those frags, but it is going to still be A good win and the bonus now for EG. Valorant just clapping with the Bulldog.
Remaining.
If anything, it was nice too that
Their
Trent threw
fears
that haunt to
betray
get
them.
that ping on to Nature to get that kill. And
Yeah, the first opener.
when you're trying to deny that orb opportunity to get an ult out earlier out from Icy, it's actually Trent that got closer now to his Nightfall. And they'll go for it again.
Continuous pressure here every round so far from Evil Geniuses. Superman takes control of the position, a little bit of help there from Jogamo, and then Jog and the rest of the team can make better informed decisions on the map. We saw already Superman able to get out of this once,
Yeah.
so not a problem for him to be pushed up and get the info.
And the good thing is that support system on the A side, no util was being used by Ja or Derek. So Superman actually is able to make it safely on top of Rubble. He could try to delay, get info, and we'll still have util for EG to retake the A side should they lose it here. On this attempt of a push from G2, with another one-way smoke being thrown by Superman, they decide to stop.
Heck of a delay. They have no idea who else is out there, and at the rate Superman is defending it, it's like he can defend it with somebody else, and they have to respect that. Just really putting up a good front there, a facade on Rubble. And they may have to force towards B. 30 seconds left. This could be a door play, but they're going to be running into that Cypher util.
And you might have a C's nade set up here. C's gets thrown first. There's the
There it
nade. So a
is.
little bit of a mistiming there, but it does a little bit of damage. Jogano's the one that's heavily damaged through sprays on the retaliation. And G2 rotating out towards the C site now. Apoth avoiding his own C's nade, stays alive for a bit, spamming through his own cage. Jogamo around the corner. Beautiful haunt coming out from Derek. That lines up 2 kills for Nature to throw out the hat. Info in the last 2. And there's no time left. The last 2 players of G2 are forced to fall back and save their weapons as EG is able to get their gun round.
What a round from Evil Geniuses. Just to summarize that round was basically, G2, we want you to do this. They were directed away from A, they were directed away from B from the C's nade, right into the waiting arms of Cypher util at B, the haunts, the util, the dump, and EG just slaughtered G2 on the entry. That was so organized from Evil Geniuses.
Nice shots by Nature to follow those kills after the ping, and he's dropping 20 now in this server for EG. A slower start that he had the first time he played against G2 on breach rolls, on KO rolls, but on this Viper today on Lotus, he's definitely come out to play.
And EG get the same defensive setup almost every time for free. Instantly, Superman's up, grabbing info. It's the C hit, though. G2's focus is only forward on this one, it seems, with Nightfall hitting and Icy in.
They put a snake bite towards the waterfall, somehow gets a second one. As Leaf finally is able to answer back, but that support was already there from Nature. Advantage still out for EG. As Valorant has made it through the spawn, and he's gonna try to get behind.
The winning factor.
While Leaf goes for the plat here at the default spot. Sees nade, nice little bait out. Also trying to win some time for Valen to execute this backstab. It works against Superman. They try to answer right back, but Derek is able to avenge his teammate. Back to a 1v1. Jogamo against Leaf.
54-62 are the HPs.
Has a turret to work with. So makes it a 2 versus 1 in terms of information and angles that could be watched here against Jogamo. Jogamo breaks it right away, cleans down the 4K and around for Leaf. As one more shot coming out of Jogamo could have been the win. But it's a strong hold for G2 in the end without a plant needed.
Sentinels usually doing their work under the radar, especially a Killjoy, but Leaf put in the situation, still stepping up when he's needed.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's the KJ or not. Valen so close to making that one work, but EG was still ready. They took so much time in Waterfall to say, wait, we've only identified one. Okay, it has to be a lurk. It's been too long. They're not planting, they're not protecting each other. So good mind games there.
GB mentioned Leaf in his role have been forced sometimes to play the LMS, right? The last man standing.
Exactly.
What are the question marks there? It's been answered. Could still fulfill the role, could still clutch now, could still give a chance for G2 to maintain their lead now, but that 5-round lead that they had at the beginning of the game narrowed down by 2. As in the later halves of the halves, it definitely starts EG snowball of a couple of rounds here once they figure out how G2 plays. And it starts off with an outlaw by Superman, contacts onto Icy. Heavily pressured, another paranoia being thrown out, forcing Valen to TP away. And the G2 Leaf able to get that lurk. God.
They're so ready for every push.
For EG indeed. Except not for the rotate potentially towards the C side. So Jockmo wants to try to get the contact, but bumps the ceiling. And now Valent's on the lure, but gets stopped. Trying to pinch across, trying to get trades. They lost a spike in the process. And they lost all of their fights for G2.
Again, G2 cannot uproot EG from their defensive positions. This play at A, Superman was mostly there by himself with an outlaw, but again, G2 assumed there's way more behind it, right? Also, this shot and then peeking again. It's just like the audacity of it is kind of blowing G2 away. They're like, okay, we gotta back up. There's way more here. It has to be it. Otherwise, you'd think you'd just smother this guy on rubble every round. They go towards mid. There's going to be a crash onto B here. That site for Util spread out pretty thin towards sites, and it's going to stop him for the hit. But the low buy entry, and it looks like the train is on the tracks. Not much is going to stop this one.
Except these mollies and walls and smokes up from EG.
Okay, they ran out of coal. I thought we're still getting the blast packs.
Ran out of steam. Now you have Stingers with no armor as well for Leaf and Valen. Bucky, full shields for Icy. So your call is still right, though. They still want to potentially leverage these two satchels for G2 to create some space and close the gap and potentially get a big opener. Might be choosing towards the seaside, especially now that the Nanostorm has broken the trips away from Apoth.
Nice hit there. I think popped cam as well, so they can't use. Caught looking. That's exactly what they need.
Exactly, and off that kill, a lockdown becomes available. And even better for G2, that's going to create the space for a clean plant. And with the guns that they have to close the gap and play up towards the spawn with these lower buys.
There.
Oh, nice. Giving the spike to Icy. A plant coming down, has a showstopper in the ready as well.
With their showstopper, they should be able to defend this.
Well, AG's doing the same thing as G2 right now, being annoying with these revolving doors, so Nature's the one that's opening it up.
3 outside sight, they gotta get in. Spike's planted in sight.
But Icy pumps out the showstopper, adding fear to EG, forcing out the rocket, avoiding it, then trying to push down to punish, but Icy stays alive. Now on the top of the boxes as EG Derek is moving forward with the rest of the team. Out for the kill! And with the drop from the top rope! G2 gets the round of the Thrifty.
You just saw him for a moment on the screen. That's how wild these fights are getting. Oh my gosh. For the low buy round, be the one that G2 is able to snap back with here again. The classic kill there, the flood into sight. G2 skirt back in from Mound just in time. They didn't plant to be able to shoot on stairs and Mound. They planted deep in sight, so it was required for everybody to crash back in.
Utilizing, rather, these ultimates around these Stingers.
Hit towards A. Ooh, finally getting a little first aggro out. Yeah, G2 wants the space right away. Superman will not be able to reside here. They're going to be at C, though. So it's that full retake. They do have the Nightfall for this, which is why we're seeing such a change on the side of EG. Site's going to be G2's. They should be able to get a little bit of forward push here, too, if they go towards stairs or A-Link, but being smoked off, that might be too sketchy.
Contain the spawn for EG. The trip still towards the B side to give him a chance to have information on a late lurk, which is not currently available here for G2. So they're going to try to work as a group, winning the first wave of util, potentially trying to flood back now and activate any trades. There's that Nightfall for info, a swing out from the orb, but it's G2 answering first. 2 on the board for them against 1 of EG. Vandal upgrade out for Joggimo, though, as they're trying to fight towards the tree, and he swings in alone. All of the plays are G2 waiting at the revolving door. And that Thrifty this time around will not come in favor of EG after Potter's timeout.
Such an awesome shot from the POV of the players in the Nightfall there. You can't hear anything. It's chaos. You're shooting based on anything you can identify that breaks that wall, that line of sight. And they all just stay and trade with each other. Very nicely done.
1 enemy remaining.
And a faster strat here from G2. Seeing the call from the timeout, they say, all right, we're going to play something fast. They go towards A, and they did not stop on that. They're going to have Jonah P's ult after that. He'll need 1 ult orb at the end of the round. Rinse and repeat. We'll get the same strat. A little bit more of a lurk from Leaf on this one, though.
Oh. Going out for a TP right after the paranoia. Avoids a little bit of these bullets. And now with the beautiful haunt being thrown by Derek. Allowing Jogamo and Superman to just shut down the initial push of EG outside of A. But Jonah P is still up and alive. So is Leaf to answer right back.
They're giving all the fights. They thought there's maybe enough damage done. A little antsy there, and G2 come out on top. Apoth, healthy, still though low armor on this buy. And it's going to be the slow work from G2 as they clear everything. They know Apoth could be one with a wild lurk, that spot you're not expecting. So they're using everything just to get a bit of ground here or make sure they can displace Apoth and find out where he is immediately.
And he's jiggling and watching.
Yeah.
Nana Storm being thrown. He knows there's at least a cage, and there's that first one at 5 HP left, though. Again, still has an idea, especially with the revolving door being hit on the A side, that Leaf was there with his teammate.
30 seconds left.
Now off the plant, Apot does have a cage to work with if he wants to block vision and try to move down. Oh, but decides to move down silently.
That turret could be his demise.
Unfortunately, he's not going to see
on the good side.
He's looking away here.
He's good.
He's trying to get behind as he's lurking up right now. The turret, it's not even looking towards tree.
Oh my gosh.
And that gun is not even sticking out here. That was so close as Leaf walks behind, but he looks the wrong way. Leaf will still get the round and put G2 at that point.
LMS still got it. Leaf comes up again with a very big round. That would have been 1,900. Like I said, practically nobody had money in the bank that round. Valorant had maybe 3K, everybody else on 700, so on 1,900, that's not going to get you much. They keep the cash, they keep the cash flow, the momentum, and Leaf keeps clutching. What a runaround, a little game of cat and mouse at the end there. And now game point for G2, and this battle to start off on Lotus here. The Omen ults are up. If they can get on the site, Jonah P can quickly put the Viper's pit down. And it's just, again, G2 a little slower, but we get the same strat. You have your lurk by Leaf and A control as they move up ever so slowly.
And EG wants to play the distance. They only have Guardians really to work with. 4 of them, 1 Bulldog for Apoth. Trying to close down tight line of sights. Shot a little bit too early on that haunt, so it does get a bit of info. It's gotten thrown out by Derek. Which also pivots, dragging him out towards the A site to try to support Superman. He gets hit by a paranoia, forced to fall back. Counter flashes, repositions with Jogamo.
Good find. Clearing a lot of info. Oh, Superman though.
Now we commit. Nightfall on the attack. Jogamo at half health as he's hit by that even the haunt, and that's going to make it a little bit easier until I see that. Jogamo gets the pick, but there you go. G2 stops the opportunity of EG to turn around over in their favor. 2 more kills needed to close out the first map. Nature and Apoth pit even out on the attack. Rendering things a lot more difficult now for Evil Geniuses. They hear the drop, the wall comes down, Nature connects onto Leaf. Upgrades now into a Vandal. Both players on both teams virtually at the same health. Apoth trying to walk in, decayed now by the pit, avoids the first snake bite. Sprays across to try to get a timing. As he swings in, there's that first kill. A second one easily done by Trent. 4 in a round to put G2 with the first match under their belt.
It is going to be a bit of a slower play unless it's info, util, and crash, right?
Yeah.
So this game has a lot of ways to be played, but we don't have the Sage Wall. See some other regions playing the Sage Wall makes that B play a lot safer, so we might just have a heyday here. The both teams coming in pretty hard on this A site over and over. Not too many crazy buys going around. Some ghosts as they slowly work up alt orb. Trent's going to be first contact here for G2.
Right, Cascade was used for pipes so that he could just play contact from the lower grounds. And now to make full noise, High Tide coming out on the A side as EG on the attack. Or the ones trying to set the pace for the attempt of a plant. Both Nana Storms preemptively popped though on the defense, Paranoia as well, and it looked right away like G2 wanted to fight instantly.
Spike planted.
But it gets planted, Trent gets the pick off through the dome. As Apoth after the plant falls. Gecko Dizzy now being thrown towards the air to get information, and Leaf is quite good for those 2 kills swarming inside from that screens. Joggimo low on HP with Superman.
Player
Up against a full
standing.
roster, quite healthy of G2.
Oh my.
Trent with 3 in the round. And G2, this is their 3rd pistol now of the series.
Yeah, really strong on the pistols. Trent, like we said, he was just pushed up towards pipes. First bit of sound he heard, they started backing up. Throw up the Viper wall from Jonah P. They start taking the fights. That push, that was towards the end of the round. But yeah, instant control of the sites, able to waterfall in. And 2 were B to start off. Same 2 that are starting off right now over on that side as we see Icy and Jonah P setting up on that side. So the Killjoy utility gonna be mid. See how long it takes EG to kind of get up and mess with that or figure out how much it's being moved, because it's always one of the games you can play when you want to start working kitchen. EG going fast again here for this 2nd round to get a little bit of orb control.
Yep.
And they just pause.
Sectioning the scaling here towards this B site. Top green. You don't have the Allen drone to try to clear out towards yellow though. And at least the audio cue of the Dizzy is going to allow for EG to start swarming in towards the top. Juggle gets to contact, but it was a little labored. So now G2 is already there to help ride out on the first player that they've lost on yellow. Very, very clean 2nd round.
A little bit of room for Leaf to peek out there and get quite a few frags with a stinger from Nest. 4-0, we have a lockdown pretty fast too, so even if EG start to kick back as this bonus round comes around, you could have that lockdown to stave off their pressure. All right. Vandals, everyone. Oh no, there's a few Phantoms in there for EG. Looks like they will be going towards B again, but a little bit more mid lurk. Throwing up this cascade, pushing behind it. Sometimes you see the drone here for full clear going up behind, just added free space, but they're still keeping util to make their way into the site.
And you talk about aggression, potentially on middle on the attack, but it's actually Leaf walking all the way down on the mid side of that too. It's a big Dizzy that gets a big blind out the Joggimo.
So aggressive.
Tried to dash away, and there's that push down, punishing Superman. And at the same time, look at those bullet holes. They added a lot of pressure for G2 on the A side, so it almost looked like a pincer maneuver on all the angles of the map.
Spike down.
Feels like Lotus early rounds all over again. Spike already down, out towards yellow. Derek alone now, towards the B site. Nature on the other side at A. Leaves Derek's able to fight back. Icy falls early. Recon guard to work with. Chance now for Nature to move back with him. So they could try to dwindle down the numbers of the defense of G2 towards this B site. Toward those spots, Derek runs out. Jonah P
Spike down B.
is answered back by Nature.
30 seconds left.
He's clutched this before here, this IGL for EG. Jump spot though from Trent. Just saw him forcing out the paranoia. Information for Nature to know there was 2 players there towards orange. But it was a last resort no matter what. Confident round now for G2, once again winning another bonus.
Yeah, and really the way they played the economy for the first few rounds, we saw G2 with Vandals and full armor on a few of their members coming into that round. That's not what EG's expecting. You know, they're expecting G2 to have gone through a pretty easy, almost flawless rounds to start off, but I'm probably not expecting to find so many gun sames, expecting those gun diffs. All right, towards A, here we go. Killjoy utilities set up. EG is going to be running into a trap, but it hasn't stopped them before. It is something they can clear. And the way that G2's placing those mollies too, just on the boxes, so very hard for EG to come in and say, oh, there's a molly at my feet. No, it's head level, ready to just kind of slice you up as it goes off. Back to mid, Trent, same spot. Rinse and repeat a pistol round here from both teams.
Yeah. EG really using this cascade to block line of sight, not only from Pipes, but from Jenny as they try to come out here from the bottom of the A main area. Now util being dumped on EG's side, clearing out, or trying to clear out KJ util. But none of it got broken, so Leaf could still do a lot of damage here, yet Nature is still able to get that kill before he falls from that util. Paranoia now being flushed out. Contact here coming from the bottom of the site. Double swing out from EG. As Trent is able to get one onto Apoth on the top of the rafters. The bubble now being popped. As EG slows things down in terms of not letting G2 know what the next move is going to be.
That It's such a neat thing. Looking back at the mollies there that we had in A that were
30
just,
seconds
if you look at
left.
the minimap right there for Killjoy, moved slightly. The first time they used those mollies, it did allow for a little bit of a hide in Jenny. If the molly went off, you could tuck yourself in and stay safe. With the mollies moved that time, Jenny wasn't safe, and that's where they tried to hide. Neat little changes. Here comes the sight take.
Just too much utility.
Yeah,
Off the
way
tap,
too
they all
much.
came through, and EG falls. Yet a lower buy that you had for EG has made G2 lose 2 weapons in the process.
The little changes throwing EG off on their take. Reckoning is up here. Still a buy coming through as we watch the replay. Once more, you see how those mollies switch up. Just affecting the entry in. And with that spike down, it becomes so much tougher to organize yourself again. G2's been moving so quick on these retakes. And we see Icy now going from a Raze to a Gecko, right? Still just as quick, just as comfortable, it seems, with the team being able to organize the strats, cascade forward, and it doesn't even give Jogamo enough space. Valen's there.
There was a change of a cascade here to allow Joggermo to run out. Reckoning instantly pushed out as well on the attack, changing gears, hitting a few recon dart with information, but it's a TP out from Valen. Advantage still out for G2. Slightly giving space here for EG, but trying to force him and funnel him towards the back of the site.
Oh, possibly a little lurk up towards the kitchen. I don't actually think Superman wants that right now. He hears the turret. It's going to see him right past the window. Almost a spam.
At least Timmy turret gets the spam.
Oh my gosh.
Superman falls. Nature 1v1. At least contacts onto Valen. Derek as well as Icy falls. High Tide, second cycle out. Bubble for a plant. Being denied currently by the Hunter's Fury of Trent. Connects and APOP falls. Low HP are Derek and Nature. And Jonah P's on that flank. And he avoided all that util. This is perfect now.
Remaining.
There's that first one to fall. And Nature at least gets Jonah P. But he's still up against Leaf and Trent at 18 left in terms of health points. A tap on the spike, and Trent knows they have all the time in the world here. As Nature felt pressured.
Yeah.
G2 there. Another 5 rounds in a row to start.
Lockdown's ready too as they come into this next round. That should be 2,900 over to the side of EG, but still low buy, we think, to come in here. And just time after time. A is the hit. We expected this to be what they would go for because of that difficulty of taking the B site. Especially, you could still do it with Harbor, but they're choosing not to. It's just a little too tough. Trent to come.
Hide behind those 2 walls and even use these 2 walls on the post plant.
I mean, just the round we saw at A, it seemed like EG was in sight for so long, and that's because they can keep putting up walls. Use that util. They have time to create the space they want. It just looks like G2 always wants to be a step inside that space to start off.
EG has to modify the way they want to scale towards the A site. So instead of using these cascades to push out, they're using an early owl drone from Derek to make sure you can push away Trent and Valen. Last time Valen had a spray moving behind the cascade to get the pick. Now you get owl drone out, you can recon in the site with the rest of the high tides coming through.
Yeah, they dumped it all.
Yeah. Valen is trying to slow things down by placing a one-way up towards pipes. And as we mentioned before, getting the high tide out first forces out the lockdown, and yes, it's a chess match to bait out the lockdowns, break it on the other side with the Hunter's Fury, trying to create space. Jogmo couldn't get the float on top of screens, so no punishment on Trent. Silver lining, EG gets a plant. The lurk, though, denied.
Whoa.
As Icy gets the headshot on Superman inside kitchen. Some players playing inside the site, some playing post plants as Thrash is available for Icy for the retake. Nature holding towards the dice. A second one in the face of Trent. Valid answers back. And the Thrash is trying to find info. Oh, Joggerman almost had that kill. But Valid was able to save Icy.
No post plant util.
And a 2 versus 3 at a disadvantage for EG. Tap on the spike, the smoke, the deniability off the sprays. Wingman with the defuse. A 6 rounds go in favor of G2.
Punishing retakes and the ability to slow it down too. 3 were hard rotating over, and they're like, you know what? Superman, where? In tube, gets the kill. They're much more sure that they can just fight what's in front of them, and they do not second guess any angles that their teammates are watching. G2, all of them just in that flow state right now. The post plants, there was a reason they were coming back really hard as well on that, on Sun, or Lotus rather. And here they keep it going. Sheriff by Guardian there for Jogmo. He's got a little bit more in the bank. And with the spike down to start this one, they expect EG to do something a little tricky. So it's going to be an info to start. As EG, or sorry, G2 to do something tricky, I should say, as EG lurk this tube again. They know the turret's going to be mostly towards Boiler. They can just wait out somebody getting antsy and peeking. Oh,
Take flight.
They don't want to be antsy. G2 wants to push forward. Paranoia now keeping EG at bay. But the turret did get broken here towards Boiler. Superman slipped through towards Kitchen. Jongno was trying to see if anybody was going to push under Pipe so he could try to get a punish. But as that happens and nobody was pushing through, EG now groups up together towards this A site. Superman holding towards Kitchen is able to get that rotate, catch the first one, upgrade into a weapon. A second one, won by Valorant instead. A 4 versus 2 advantage. As G2 is denying the push from EG. The death ball attempt on the attack. As that hero guardian that they had at the beginning now becomes an upgrade. But Jonah P doesn't give a chance for Jogmo to set up.
It just seems like G2 has all the answers. By that, I mean you lose a guy down kitchen hallway and Valen's there to instantly trade, not let that Phantom do any more damage, right? That was supposed to be the crux of the play that would really put G2 on a tough rotate, not allow them to get anywhere, but it's instantly snuffed out and they go back to work. Go back to retaking the site A again. And I think they're starting to feel it is that A is going to be this hit. EG doesn't seem to have what feels comfortable at B with the Harbor Wall and the Viper Wall encroachment to go deeper and deeper. Maybe if they come up through mid on a possible play here, they have been kind of setting a precedent that a few will be mid. They get a fight that they want here, and it could be coming from Icy.
The rate's been so good for G2 at the beginning. Blade Storm pop, pressure towards middle instantly. We have a smoke out from Valen. He's also pushing out towards the belt. It's gonna be a 1v1 against Superman playing all the way towards spawn.
Wild.
As he gets spawny, he falls back, but they have full control of the A site. So EG has to start working towards middle, using the next cycle of the Poison Orb to try to cross over. They'll be able to do so. Cascade on the other end, updraft by Jogmo. Attack in the chest here, onto Trent. Now behind the wall. Leaf is waiting towards the B site. Swings out for the first. Apoth with the trade.
Oh my God.
Jonah P holding towards Yellow, and Jonah P getting the kill towards Yellow until
Player
Nature
standing.
is able to get 2 of his own. Superman in a clutch situation, and Superman cannot be the hero this time around.
Oh. Again, exactly where they want to be. Valen getting up to belt on that round. You're just like, hey guys, by the way, probably B or mid. It's easy right now for G2. They have so much information to work with. They just have to have the crossfire placement, and it all falls into place right now. Nature looking to get these calls in that will route G2. But G2 is really at all. Trent already looks like he wants to push up into alt-door position again. And just a little bit of util behind him is going to be able to cover that exit if it gets dangerous, as it's been happening. A bit more of a spread here from EG. Let's focus on their side. They're going to cascade. A little bit of a ruse towards A here. It could become a play if they get a kill, but this focus, the drone initiator for Jogmo over towards A to see if they can get some space.
It's quite interesting too, though, for G2. After EG's timeout, they're trying to use an operator this time around and trying to rotate Leaf around this op.
Yeah.
Right there.
Controlling Kitchen, going back towards Boiler. That will make things a little bit harder to retake here if EG hits towards this A side. And that wall, yes, is to try to bait out those players, but the Allen drone was like, it really came out by Trent.
Yeah.
And spotted nothing really. So they know this is a fake from EG to start.
Orbs up, a little bit of a one-way now for Jonah to play with, as yeah, they're gonna take a more anchored position in the site. A little bit less than a minute left. You want to play safer, and they're going to get the second hit. We're getting towards B here, maybe third if you count the mid plays that didn't make it.
A little bit of a delay here. Second snake bite being thrown down by Jonah P. Orb came up and information off the reckoning.
Oh my gosh.
Deniability, Hunter's Fury out on the defense. Dizzy blinding Jogimo, who's still trying to move out towards danger. Spotted by Valorant on the top of the pipes in the hallway of kitchen. Now more utility, denying more attempts of a plant. It forces EG to have to try to plant safely, but Valorant's still around the corner. And watches his back to take down Nature, and a beautiful anchor hold by G2.
Valen 3Ks, Jonah P 3Ks this game. A lot of people are fragging out. Leaf having a few of those clutches as well earlier towards A to lock in. Just look at it. Cove is up, but it's not going to matter. You're getting dropped on by utility. You're not getting shot at. So it makes it so hard. We actually see a reason why EG haven't been going B, because they just get util dumped. And we didn't even really see Trent's arrow becoming a problem there. They still had the arrow to deliver in if the walls were up. EG looking for more answers now. What's the next step? It's going to be a low buy here.
EG's looking for any answer right now, actually. Yeah.
Anything. Spike's down here because they expect to be pushed. They expect for it to possibly be dropped. They don't want to give that info. And that could have been it right there, right? They lose the harbor wall. And now forced to just expect more pushes from G2. What a absolute masterclass here by G2 of just map information and control, not letting EG get a foothold anywhere.
And right now they kind of anticipated that push that you just mentioned, Riv, towards L of Valen, yet unfortunately couldn't even win the duel, couldn't do any damage. Valen even manages to fall back at full health. Soloing now this A side, one wing towards pipes, slowing down EG's attempt of a push. At least we have a lockdown now for EG. So giving up all that space allows for them to move forward, but it's going to be another one of those lockdown to lockdown.
You should run.
Jogimo pushing forward, though, is able to get that pick onto Valen.
Placing swamp grenade.
And that's what we meant here. Maybe some of them will get detained, but it doesn't matter. At least you get the pit down. Now you can get also, or the plant and then the pit to play Pulse Plant from jail. Alan Jones spotting Leaf on the top. Dizzy being thrown out on the defense. G2 trying to move forward and together inside the pit behind the wingman. It's nice for Icy to get the first. Jogimo answers right back, and a nice flick on the third of the round off the Trent. And there's that lurk running out of bullets, but at least Jogimo is able to keep Jonah P in a tight spot where he can't get anything done. Nice spray in the end with the Phantom, as that finally, they were looking for that first answer and they finally got it.
It takes the 4K to get one, but it is the one. As EG fans rejoice on that. And G2 say, all right, let's go right back at it. A little bit of low money there from the way they've been going down in these, but EG had to scrap for this. G2 is not making anything easy here. And the ultimate as well, making it a little interesting because you're not getting players that are low health. You're getting players that just presented themselves in the Viper's pit. So they're actually pretty healthy. Jogimo didn't care. He was snapping heads off left and right.
It's quick at the beginning, though. Recon Dart out for a tenth of a control towards this B side. Cascade coming out too, and both players holding this B site. Valen and Icy forced to fall back and start using early utility rather. Try to hold that push, but again, it's seems to be a play for EG. At least not again for the first time, trying to add pressure on middle and B, so that maybe Nature could get some sort of value on a late lurk. Lurk starts off with Superman though inside tube.
Poison's off.
No utils really going to be watching it because they broke that turret at the beginning of the round for EG.
Can't tell if they're fully info gathering or they're just letting the round play out as slow as possible. It seems like now they're moving up tube.
Knew where the thrash was coming from, so Derek gets the contact with the Hunter's Fury. It's quite interesting at the same time, though, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Valen's still alive at yellow, second in the round. TP's away now towards green. Second smoke being pinched from behind, but Nature is able to reach that kill before.
Yep.
A+ was able to turn around, they'll get the plant. And now Jonah P is in a 1 versus 3. Economy's not too great for G2, yet Jonah P still wants to make it expensive now against EG. Scaling up towards orange. High-low contact here on the right side of the B site, and Superman's gonna get it. I was gonna say it was quite interesting to see how G2 instantly went for double ults, one to try to find information, as you mentioned before.
Yeah.
But the second one was also for deniability with the Viper's Pit all the way out towards the A site. Made it kind of difficult for Jonah P to rotate back.
For sure. Finding these hits towards mid.
You were a mistake.
Interesting mid play. Not seeing G2 push A that time and EG not being kind of scared of it was interesting as well. EG still want to just play their own game, pushing up towards mid. Seems like they will go for full map control on this one, but they're getting the push this time. They're just trading tube control each round.
Forced buying because the majority at least could have rifles now for G2. Triple walk in mid, 2 towards the tube, Trent at the bottom.
Yeah.
Hit by a decay of an orb coming up on the attack for Superman. As they have 5 players on their end, now leaning towards this A site.
They should be able to focus on A. Slight push here, at least by Jonah, can deliver the info. Jump peek as well. And leaving those 2 in mid, Valen and Icy will hold. Looks like Trent just starts to rotate back and forth until they hear this drone.
And the thing is, we won't have Jogmo trying to create space because he has an operator now trying to walk in long range. So he's spraying through the A tower to give a chance. Oh, that's late. Okay, there you go. That's okay. Nothing happened. We're still going to try to move inside the site for a plant now for EG. Nature, once again, a great spot towards the dice, adds value into that. Blade Storm now available for Jogimo as he activates it and helps out the rest of the team on the pulse plant. Trent, though, has something else to say. Tying things up on a 3-3 situation with all 3 players of G2 now working towards the back of the A site. Jogimo back with the operator looking back towards A as a TP comes across at Jenny. Nature catching one, sleeping and even 2. Whoa. Valen's forced to be alone now. Easy one with the operator in the end. We have the 9-3 curse.
Whew, what a start from G2. Both timeouts from EG throughout that first half. The pistol round, G2 start off and run with it, but it is the last 3 rounds, and it took some frag power to make these rounds happen too. Nature coming up big, and the rest of the team able to put up some numbers here to make sure they come away with at least 3. It's gonna be a tough second half.
Definitely a beautiful timing done by Nature there to allow EG to have some sort of breathing room, some sort of hope to turn things around here on the second half if they can. But before we get into, you saw at least the last 2 shots, both coaches seems to be quite comfortable with the plan that they have cooked up here for this pistol round, as there was still 10 seconds left before this round started and nothing else needed to be said. So it starts with G2 with the Dizzy. High tide being thrown on the defense to retaliate. But G2 rather, are still moving up.
Lots of
up on
armor
A
here for G2.
Yeah.
Post plant 2 mollies. That's definitely a focus for Jonah. Let's see what they can make here as they get into sight. A little bit of a mid control for EG. They're looking to play more retake with a push down mid, maybe 1 flanker, but this is the hit. G2 has free space. It's what post plant they can set up that's going to matter.
It's good, at least EG killed that turret right away on the attack, so that gives a little bit of paranoia to G2, forcing 1 player to instantly rotate back towards the spawn. And that's going to be Leaf with that responsibility, giving a chance for EG to have to fight evenly, or able to fight evenly on the retake towards the A site. Jogmo scoring first. Valen then after, with help from Trent. As we're all around, really not looking towards the verticality. Everything is really clean and good for G2, and Mimi mentioned it.
Yeah.
If VG loses that pistol round, it might be GG right there, but do we believe?
I don't know. I don't know if we believe. G2 has so many things prepped here. We saw the classic armor, right, coming in for a lot of them. The 2 mollies were actually used for denial of room here at screens. So with the armor, they can push up the screens. They all face the fight coming into the site. It's not post-plant mollies. It's denial of getting back into the site mollies for EG's defense. So really good forward play from G2. And now they'll switch the side. A, now to B for second round. And they have the setup with a Leaf watching that flank. So they could stay here for quite a bit. The wingman and the drone just to get space here, not taking any chances. They have to clear yellow. Done.
Yep. Quite easily, too.
Yeah.
Didn't even need a recon dart to have Superman trying to peek out and find a timing.
Not coming back.
We saw 4 players waiting right there towards yellow and or towards green rather, and that allows here for G2 to get an instant plant towards the B site. 4 players grouped up on the pulse plant at yellow. Really no big util to delay except for that 1 nanoswarm still in the back pocket of Leaf, who throws it now. This half buy, lower buy stingers that we had from EG.
Flawless.
Exactly. They're greeted by a flawless from G2, who only need 2 more rounds to really dominate the series.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way for sure.
Definitely dominate the series. The first one still is a big scrappy back and forth there, but G2 showing quite a bit of control once they did figure out what was happening, and now running away with that control here. To clean up 11-3 now as we get into the bonus round. This is so necessary for EG, but it's already been the force. They're already trying to get control early, so it makes it tougher with the low buy. Push in, Superman just trying to get that early info, giving a little bit of alt orb control to Derek as they're getting each advantage they can falling out of this game.
Yeah, it really is the only saving grace now for EG, if they're able to salvage a couple of these rounds to get that Hunter's Fury up ASAP and maybe have that most important swing round in the series, but we're thinking way too far ahead. State of the game so far, it's been one-sided domination out of G2 all along here on the second map of Icebox. A map here where EG came out with their one-off deadlock that really surprised G2. But now this time, both of them coming out with new compositions. And G2 is ready for it all the way. 2 more left alive now, Derek and Nature. Stinger close range, dropping the spike towards yellow. Wall up on the attack, trying to spray behind it are the players of G2, and Derek and Nature just trying to find this timing. A nice little double swing out from that smoke. G2's at 12.
It's honestly an achievement for both teams to try and plant at B this game. They are giving each other so much hell just trying to get down that plant as it goes into the site. And that just tells the story so much of why we've seen so much A site from both of these teams. This one again, G2 just clean it up ever so slowly. And now they are on game point. Try open up possibly with the Hunter's Fury here as we see the end of that replay. Cleaning up the kills. Operator for Jogamo. Looks like they're going to go straight ahead and try to use this right away to pipes with protection.
Still on the ropes too. Valorant already drops that. Dizzy did way too much. 2 players are falling down, and that operator is all solo. Once again hit by so much utility. As that operator had 0 value. Nor are the players. Last one in. Jonapi with the kill. A flawless round to give the series to G2 in a dominating